Jaysick.
Is Jaysick ticklish?
Yes, I am.
That's how the interview is going to go.
To be honest with you, you've been one of the most pleasant and knowledgeable and informed people I've had to interview all day here. And this
He's
was
also really ticklish.
Alright, don't break the table.
Oh, you alright? I heard her ears. Uh-oh.
Okay.
Alright, what's up, everybody? I'm Jaysick, and I am here with...
Erika Ervin, also known as Amazon Eve.
From the hit series...
American Horror Story Freak Show.
Okay, so, again, as I spoke to somebody else here from American Horror Story, American Horror Story has started and has continued to go and is not stopping. The ratings, the show, the response is unbelievable. The new wave horror trends are going up, up, and up. How do you feel about all this happening, and how does this how do you accept this success? Like, how do you view as, like, why is it so successful now?
Well, first off, this is a fan-run enterprise. Fans make this possible. They're the ones that have given FX Network the feedback that this show is awesome, and that's why it has gone as far as it has come. We are in the top 10 internationally. We're one of the top 10 nationally. We're doing really well in terms of numbers. We broke records this year. I'm very excited to be part of some of the most talented artists, producers, technicians, people who know how to make a TV show work. And I'm sitting there, I got this, first you're starstruck, you're walking on, it's like, it's Ryan Murphy, it's Jessica Lange, it's Kathy Bates. It's like, oh my God. It's all a bunch of oh my gods until, you're just normal people. Okay, we become friends, and it's all part of this working machine. It's a big team that makes this possible. So keep in mind that there's a lot of moving parts to making a TV show successful.
What has been the most inspiring moment you've had working on the show so far, as far as, like, showing up, like you said, and then you get starstruck? But I'm sure there's been, like, a moment during the filming, during the seasons, just one in particular moment where you've had to stop and, like, kind of, like, sit back and be like, oh my God, this is real, like, this is unbelievable, like, how did this all come to be? Like, has there been a moment like that for you? Or was there, even better yet, before that moment, was there a moment when you knew you were going to do something big like this, when something was you were going to strike something like this amazing? Did you have any idea?
I didn't have any idea that I would get as far as I've gotten. It's kind of a Zen thing. You sort of put something out there and hope it works. And my expectation is to be a physical fitness powerhouse. That's what Amazon Eve is. She really is a game changer. Okay? She's cognitive dissonance in the whole male hierarchy, especially in a notion of patriarchy. She's kind of like a feminist icon. She's Rosie the Riveter on steroids. All right.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I want to tell you where this began. This began in 2011 when I met Jodie Umge, who plays Ma Petite in the show. I had to walk in front of an audience when I got my gold medal, when I won the Guinness Book of World Records. And my co-star at the time told me,
use your power.
Because that's how she talks.
She has this really high little voice. She's like maybe 22 inches tall, about 11 pounds. She's very small.
Built like a baby. And she told me to use my power, and I did. I didn't expect my power to put me on one of the top shows in television history, so it's a bit surrealistic. And yes, there's that moment, that aha moment, like, okay, I belong. I'm not intimidated by the process. I feel like I'm part of the family. Even though it's a job, and make no mistake, it is a business, okay? But this is the best business in the whole world. I play for a living. And that moment happened. I was with Angela Bassett, and we were shooting that scene, and we were tar and feathering Penny's father. Well, that was my dad. I just said, okay. Can we do that again? So much fun.
So, in the long run of acting, how did you actually come across this audition? How did you get this audition to be on this show?
I was running into a notion of how to think outside the box, so my manager and I, Drew Elliott, had a conversation. We got to think outside the box, okay? They don't write a lot of parts for very tall women. So let's think outside the box. Well, I don't care if it's a man or a freak or dragon. I don't care. Just send me anything that you think I can morph into. Well, back in June of last year, my manager said, okay, I've got this part. It's with FX. It's with a hit show, American Horror Story Freak Show, but the part is male. And the part was originally slated for Johnny Long in the Pants. That was the character's original name, right? I'll do it. I was fully prepared to, for 6 months, play the part of a man. I slicked back my hair, no makeup, bound my breasts, put a flannel shirt on and a T-shirt underneath, lowered my voice, and I auditioned, and I landed it. And then Ryan Murphy and the production team over at FX were kind enough to let me be Amazon Eve, the character I created in 2009. And you always manage the downside. The upside always takes care of itself. This upside is like all bases loaded, knocking it out of the park, home run. It feels good. I don't personally feel different, but it's a milestone in my life. This is one of the big milestones in my career. And for the rest of my life, this is a story. There are stories in TV shows that tell the old story, like, it puts the lotion on its skin, or it gets the hose again. And then there are those stories that transform society. And by the way, that movie, Silence of the Lambs, was very transphobic.
Because of him?
Because of that character. They framed us as psychopathic killers trying to appropriate a woman's body by being, a sick individual. Portrayed transgender people, or this particular transgender person, as sick, mentally ill, as murderous, as willing to appropriate a woman's body. And of course, the arch hero happens to be a lesbian. This is what we call a TERF's dream movie. This is the trans-exclusionary radical feminists version of a transgender person.
Do you feel that was their goal with that, like, scripting that? Like, do you know what I mean? Do you feel like there was any kind of, like, personal vendetta towards that kind of thing when they wrote that? Or was it just by chance or by coincidence that character came to be that legendary character in that movie that everybody quotes to this day? Adam Sandler movies have made jest of it. One or two other movies have made jest of it. I mean, what do you think about that?
I try to tell people, look at Iraq veterans. Why do they have a high suicide rate? They've just been in a war. Why do we have a high suicide rate?
It's a war.
We're at war. And it's about messages. It's about a war of messaging. We really are in a war. There's no battlefield. Okay? There's no front line. There's nobody to aim at. This is a rescue mission. And let me make that very clear. This is a war, and we have to treat it like that, but we all have to do our part to understand that we aren't freaks. We aren't monsters. We aren't something to be pitied or someone to feel sorry for. We are accomplishing great things. I help transgender people obtain health insurance in California, now all 50 states, and there's a correlation between our medical legitimacy and our civil liberties being on parity with, I'm on parity, legal parity with a genetic female. My birth certificate says F. My driver's license says F. My passport says F. That means female. Unfortunately, the word transgender somehow doesn't have the same meaning as equal to female. I like words that are empowering. Do I not have a right to my own self-agency? To say, no, I will not kiss your fucking flag. By the way, can we use the 7 deadlies here?
Oh, sure.
All right, look up Olaf. I will not kiss your fucking flag. Because that idea does not empower me. I throw out those ideas that don't empower me, that don't validate me. The word transgender by itself does not validate my femininity. It doesn't, because it's not in parity with female.
Do you feel, this is a little off the topic of American Horror Story, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Do you feel that in this day and age, regardless of how much politically and publicly people are portraying it as acceptable, all different, it's the PC world now. It's okay to be this, it's okay to do this, it's okay to do that. Obviously there's the older people that are from an older generation that don't think it's okay, but regardless of how accepting they paint this nation to be of anything, do you feel that it is more acceptable, or do you feel that there's still just as big a struggle as there was before?
Oh, it's gotten better. It's gotten much better. When I first knew I was different, and in that way that would eventually lead to someone who would come out as transsexual and get medical treatment to fix it, I was 13, 1981. You guys have to understand, Amazon Eve is 36 years old. When I was 12 years old, I created this iconic character in a game called Dungeons and Dragons, which I was never able to play. She was a Titan, kind of half-giant female superhero, and she would fit perfectly in this cosplay called Homicon HorrorCon. I love being here at Chiller and seeing so many people express themselves in so many different ways.
You just give every gamer like the ultimate boost. Every Dungeons and Dragons gamer just heard that and is like their nerd scale just went up 30 points.
I am an old school, first generation Gary Gygax player. Back in junior high, that was the first game, and I started playing games like that all through college. And it taught me how to do my first level of characterizations, and now I role play for a living. It's an awesome life. Back in the day, there were real role players, and then it moved into game theory much more with dice rolling and making sure you get points and things like that. This is the old school. The vision of Gary Gygax, the original vision, I think, was a role-playing game where the dice were kept on the other side of the Dungeon Master screens. The players didn't know what THAC0 was, and they played their part. The Dungeon Master was a storyteller. The players were characters in the story, the lead characters in the story. It was so much fun, and that's what we did when we were little. How we've come from that time, that was one place where I could thrive. These are my people here. They're not just my fans, these are my people. I see half of them being folks that I would be in a campaign with when I was little. And you can see it, all right, when we do panels, I ask, how many people know or have ever experienced maybe a first-generation Gary Gygax game? And the old gray hairs might timidly raise their hand. Yeah, that was me. You are my people. And I would tell them that story. You see them light up. My life has changed drastically. I used to be in fear. Now I'm in power. It used to be a time to hide because you had to hide to save your life. You couldn't disclose who you were. Now I can be open and honest that I was born male. I switched. I medically transitioned to female. I prefer, gendered pronouns like woman, female pronouns, female, her, she. And I don't like being referred with a hyphenated trans. I don't like it. I don't think that word does not equal female in my world. Okay? It might say I need it to be more gender affirming, personally. That's my personal. But until for lack of a better word, it's easier, it's shorthand to say transgender, and people get it a little faster instead of me having to go through a whole litany of this explanation. So for brevity, I say transgender, but personally, I don't feel that term is...
No definitions.
Or definitions. That word is not in parity with female.
Okay, so how have your interactions with other characters on set been?
Well, I've been so fortunate enough to work with some of the most talented actors in the business. I mean, Jessica Lange, Kathy Bates, Michael Chiklis taught me how to do a fight scene. Like, here's this strong man now. Wah, thud. You know, he was so generous with his time and his energy, and very fatherly, very mentorly, showing me how to really do a fight scene. And I got to do this incredible scene with Kathy Bates. She's such an angel. She's Miss Congeniality on set. She's such a sweet, wonderful person. And then Angela Bassett, I'm like, I get chills. I get to work with these people, you know? One of my co-stars, Matt Frazier, who you're going to be interviewing pretty soon, has opened my eyes about, you know, getting my freak on, so to speak. I've been afraid to show my strength, even though people know I'm a, you know, super strong. So first episode, Ryan Murphy directed that. I walked up to him, and this is all Matt's doing. He said, Ryan, let me get my freak on. So I picked up a 250-pound man, and I carried him on my shoulders so we could hack him up later on. And I said, I'm just going to be a freak. I'm going to use all my power. So Matt was the one that made me feel comfortable to use that difference. And Jodie also helped. You know, Jodie back in Milan in 2011 said,
Use your power.
and that's my message, use your power. You know, what is your superpower? You know, what gift have you been given?
I don't know. I have a lot of weird things that I can do, but the one thing in particular, Bridget's laughing because she's seen half of them. Yeah, no. I could do the. Oh, you alright? I heard her ears.
Okay.
You know, my weird power, I guess I have to say, has been my ability to communicate and talk with people and understand them. If there's anything, it's always been able to relate with people. And to be honest with you, you've been one of the most pleasant and knowledgeable and informed people I've had to interview all day here. And this
He's
was a great
also really
interview.
ticklish.
Alright, don't break the table now.
Oh, it's really bad. She got my spot, too. That's bad. She knew my spot. All right.
You got the tickle part.
She did. She always does. She gets all the bad stuff. All right. I'm Jaysick. Thank you guys for tuning in.